Well, joining me here in the studio is Levent Korkut. He is a law professor at Medipol University here in Istanbul. Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah. If Saudi refuses to answer Turkish prosecutors' questions and won't allow them to interview the 15 suspects that Saudis themselves have identified, how can this be a transparent joint investigation and ultimately a just prosecution?
Of course, such a situation is not a good situation for prosecution in Turkey. The prosecutor probably collected some facts and evidences in Turkey, but he also needs cooperation of Saudi authorities because people there living there now and not under the control of prosecutor. Therefore, it will be a half indictment if a prosecutor decides to write it. But yesterday's announcement by the prosecutor shows that there are some clear facts, evidences that it was a planned, premeditated killing and murder. For this reason, international obligation of Saudis is to cooperate. It is clear because it is not a simple murder. It is also murder for a journalist, done for a journalist, and he is expressing his views in very democratic and peaceful way.
But the question is, I mean, does
therefore,
Saudi have to...
it is a human rights dimension also it has.
But if Saudi doesn't respect its international obligations, where does that leave Turkey's case here? Nothing can really be done. If Saudi decides it's going to keep these suspects on Saudi territory and plead the Vienna Convention that this crime was committed on Saudi territory, perhaps within Turkey's borders, but it was on Saudi territory, they can complete this case themselves, and justice will not be seen in Turkey.
In Consular Affairs Convention, there is no big obstacle in front of criminal proceedings. It is not an affair of consulate's daily business. It is a separate thing. Therefore, it is not that much immune or privileged thing. Turkish authorities, I think, have a jurisdictional authority to do it.
Okay.
And here in Turkey, according to Turkish criminal procedural law, Turkish criminal law, and international law, Turkey has the right to do it in Turkey. The crime happened in Turkey.
Right.
And secondly, Turkish public order broken. And therefore, there wouldn't be an objection.
But then, I mean, what does Turkey do now? Can they appeal somehow to international authorities to force the suspects to come here to undergo questioning in this case? Then as far as the trial is concerned, there's an argument some have made that these suspects under international law will face a more humane trial here in Turkey because, for example, Turkey doesn't have the death penalty while Saudi does.
Yeah, for these issues, it is early because we don't exactly know whether Saudis cooperate more or not. But if they do not cooperate more, of course, there are some international law mechanisms to solve this issue. Not solve issue of killing, but solve the issue of this disagreement between two countries can be handled by international courts also.
Okay. Professor Korkut, thank you so much for joining us.